right now?
Yes, sir.
Good, good, good. Okay, go ahead, Mom.
Okay, so earlier I asked you when you are making a simple sentence that between subject and verb, subjects will come first followed by the verb. And then when we talk about the verb, remember, verb does not only focus on the action words but also with the what other verb are we talking about aside from the action words? Anyone who can still remember? Tristan.
To be.
Very good. I think I'm talking to Inda, right? Right. I'm actually talking to Inda. Very good, Inda. So aside from the verb or action words, verb as action words, we are also talking about verbs, which is the verbs to be. What are the verbs to be? What other verbs to be or what verbs to be that you can think of? Verbs to
Is,
be.
are.
Very good. Are. What else?
Am.
Okay, what else? The past tense of is. What is the past tense of is? The past tense of are. Is, are, was, were, right? Was, were. So those are one of those included in the verbs to be. Okay. So look at the different examples. Look at this. When you talk about the examples, you can always see the subject first, followed by the verb. The is and the are actually your verb to be. These are verbs to be. And then this one is what what I've been talking about. A verb is a word that shows action, or it is also a be verb or state of being, right? And then when you look back at the examples again, you can see the subject first, followed by the verb. So when you are going to make a sentence, subject first, followed by the verb. So that is what you will always think of when you make a sentence. And then remember, I told you last time, when we talk about finding subjects and verbs, there are also rules. There are also rules. So if you look at the rules, so if rule 1, if a verb follows to is actually an infinitive. I mean, to is actually it is actually a preposition, right? If a verb follows to, then it is called an infinitive phrase and is not the main verb. For example, I like to walk. I is the subject. You can clearly see that I is the subject. But between like and walk, what would be our verb? Is it like or is it walk? Anyone? I have been talking about this one before, right? What will be our verb? Like or walk? What is that verb that followed to? What is the verb that followed to? Is it like or walk? Anyone? What is the verb that followed or that follows to? Is it like or walk?
Like. Walk.
Walk. Very good. Walk is the verb that follows or that followed to. Therefore, what will be our main verb? What would be our main verb? Because walk is actually the verb that follows to. Very good. Like is our main verb. Therefore, walk is an infinitive phrase. So you can look at it. Okay? Remember, I told you last time, be sure to be able to be familiar with the different rules. Okay? Be sure to be able to be familiar with the different rules. Okay, this one is also about subject. It is actually about the subject. So look at this. Again, another example. If you look at the example, you can see that subject first followed by the verb. Okay, subject first followed by the verb. Woman is the subject. Read is the verb. Okay, rule 2. A subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. Of. It's another preposition, right? Another preposition. Example. Again, I asked you many times about this one. I hope you can still remember, right? A bouquet of yellow roses will lend color and fragrance to the room. So if you look at it, I will ask you which is the subject. Is it bouquet or yellow roses?
Bouquet.
Bouquet.
Very good, Nicholas. Bouquet. Bouquet is actually the subject because according to the rule 2, a subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. So if you look at the example, a bouquet of yellow roses will lend color and fragrance to the room. Bouquet is actually before the word of. Right? So this must be our subject. Okay, rule 3. To find the subject and the verb, always find the verb first, then ask who or what performed the verb. Okay, maybe some of you are wondering why I am very fast because it has been taught already, right? It has been taught already for many, many times. We are actually doing the review. We are actually doing the review. So if you are not, if you were not able to be with us last time and are still confused with this, you can ask questions. I am open regarding asking of questions. Okay. Okay. Regarding rule 3. Regarding rule 3. When we are being asked to find the subject and verb in a sentence, the first thing that we are going to do is to find the verb. The first thing that we are going to do is to find the verb. After finding the verb, then we will ask ourselves, who or what performed the verb? Okay? Who or what performed the verb? For example, the jet engine passed. Okay. I was not able to have this one. The jet engine passed. Okay, look at this. The jet engine passed. So what is our verb? What is our verb? The jet engine passed inspection. What is our verb?
Pass.
Past. Okay, since we know that past is actually our verb, then we will ask ourselves. Who passed the inspection? Who passed the inspection? Or what passed the inspection? Who or what passed the inspection? Can you be able to answer that? If you will be able to answer that one, then that must be our subject. Who or what passed the inspection?
Engine.
Engine. Very good. We are talking about engine. So if you are going to give me an answer which is actually a full answer such as jet engine, it's still okay. But remember, jet here will actually play as an adverb. I mean an adjective. Sorry, it's not an adverb. It's an adjective. Okay? It is an adjective. So the simple subject here is only engine. If you are going to give me a full subject, you can include jet, engine, but as a simple subject, you can only use engine. Okay? You can only use engine. Oh, this one. I was not able to cover it also. From the ceiling hang the chandelier. From the ceiling hang the chandelier. What is our verb? What is our verb?
Hung.
Hang. Very good. Ask yourself, what was being hung from the ceiling? What was being hung from the ceiling?
Chandelier.
Chandelier. Very good. So you must always ask yourself, okay? You should not what what was being hung the chandelier. It's not the correct. It's not what you are going to ask. Okay, you are going to ask what was being hung from the ceiling. Okay, look at this. The way they made this sentence is actually a sentence that starts with the dependent variable, right? Okay. So always remember to know the verb first, then ask yourself what or who performed the verb. What or who performed the verb. Okay. Last time I told you about this one. If you do not have a specific subject and then the sentence is actually an imperative sentence wherein there is this request or command, okay? There is this request or command. Remember the imperative sentence. You will always understood that the subject will always be you. You. There is no specific subject at all, but you know in yourself, within yourself, that the subject what we are actually talking about is you. Okay? We are talking about you. Okay? Any request or command such as stop or walk quickly has the understood subject you. Why? Because if we ask who is to stop or walk quickly, then the answer must be you. Okay? You understand? The answer must be you. So I will just simply highlight this one. Okay? The answer must be you. For example, I just, if you look at it, you was just being placed here. But if you look at it, it's not actually included in the sentence. But if you look at the sentence, it is actually an imperative sentence, which is actually making a request or a command such as please bring me some coffee. We are not sure who will be the subject, but according to rule 4, we are actually talking about the specific subject, which is you. Okay? You. Okay, rule 5. Rule 5. So by the way, when we talk about finding subjects and verb, we are talking about 5 rules. We are talking about 5 rules. So rule 5, sentences often have more than one subject, more than one verb, or pairs of subjects and verbs. Remember last time I told you that we do not limit ourselves with the subjects as well as with the verb. So we can have more than one subject and more than one verb in one sentence. Okay? You can look at the different examples here. I like cake and he likes ice cream. If you look at the sentence, what are the subjects? I like cake and he likes ice cream. What will be your subject? I like cake and he likes ice cream. What are the subjects? Anyone?
Two.
What?
Two.
Okay, what are those? What are the 2 subjects?
I and he.
Very good. I and he. Very good. And if you look at the verb, you can see it so happened that the verb here are just the same. Okay, they are the same. They are the verb which is like. Okay, like. So you can also say I love cake and he likes ice cream. Right? I love cake and he likes ice cream. So this must be pairs of subjects and verbs. And then he and I like cake. He and I like cake. So how many subjects can we have in the sentence? He and
2.
I like cake. How many subjects?
2.
2. Very good in that. What are those subjects?
He and I.
He and I. Very good. How about the verb?
Like.
Like. So there is only one verb. Okay, this one. She lifts weights and jogs daily. She lifts weights and jogs daily. How many subjects can we have?
Only one.
One. What is that specific subject?
She.
She. How about the verbs? How about the verb? What are the verbs? How many verbs?
Two.
Two. What are those verbs?
Lifts and jogs.
Very good. Lifts and jogs. So Inda must be listening very, very attentively because he can still remember, right? So for all those who are actually with us, please be able to remember the lessons because it can really help you a lot, okay? It can really help you a lot, okay? This is the subject and verb agreement. How many rules do we have, including the basic rule? I told you that one last time. How many rules do we have, including the basic rule for the subject and verb agreement? Can you still remember what I told you last time? We have, including the basic rule, we have 16 rules. One basic rule and 15 rules. Okay? From 1 to 15. Okay, what is the basic rule? The basic rule states that a singular subject takes a singular verb, while a plural subject takes a plural verb. Okay, how do you make a singular how do you make a singular verb? What are you going to do with the verb in order to make it become singular? Can you still remember? How do you make the verb become singular?
Add S or
Add
ES.
S or ES. Very good, Inda. You are simply going to add S or ES. How about the verb? How about the subject? How about the subject? How do you make the subject? Or how do you identify the subject being a singular subject? Do we also need to add S or ES to make the subject become singular? What do you think? Are we also going to add S or ES to make the subject become singular?
Yes.
Are you sure? So for example, if I am going to say, what you call this one? Give me a give me a subject. Okay, tomatoes. Okay, tomatoes. If I say tomatoes, okay, does that make it become singular? Because I add ES on that one. Tomatoes. Does that make it singular?
No.
No. So what do you do to make it become singular? Tomatoes will be what? Without S. Very good. When you look at the subject, in order for us to be able to identify whether it is singular or plural, the subject, which is a singular subject, does not have an S. We do not add S or ES, right? If we are going to make the subject becomes plural, we are going to add S or ES. So it is actually the opposite of the verb. It is actually the opposite of verb. Why? To make the verb become singular, I will add S or ES. Okay? To make the verb become singular, I will add S or ES. Okay, note, this trick is in knowing whether the subject is singular or plural. So remember, I asked you about the singular and the plural subject. So if you have this subject which do not have an S, then it must be a singular subject. So you will easily identify that it is a singular subject. And then regarding the verb, you are also going to recognize a singular or plural verb. So there is this hint. Verbs do not form their plurals by adding an S as nouns do. This is what I told you earlier. In order to determine which verb is singular and which one is plural, think of which verb you would use with he or she, and which verb you would use with they. Okay? With they. So example, between talks and talk. So we have two verbs, talks and talk. What is talks? Is it singular verb or plural verb? Talks with S. The original verb with S. Singular verb or plural verb?
Singular verb.
Singular verb. Talk, which is the original verb, is actually a
Plural.
plural verb. Very good. So which one is the singular form? Which word would you use with he? So talks, according to Alfonso, is a singular verb. Therefore, I will use he. He talks. Therefore, talks is singular. When you talk about they, and then we are talking about talk, which is actually a plural verb, then they will be the correct subject. Okay? Okay, rule 1. This one, we are going to use the connector. Rule 1 and rule 2, or nor, either or, and neither nor. Remember that one? When we see, if we can see a subject, specifically a singular subject, which is being connected by connector or nor, then the verb must also be singular. Okay? If we see two, okay, singular subjects, which was being connected by connector or nor, then the verb must also be a singular verb. For example, my aunt. My aunt or aunt is a singular subject, and then uncle is also a singular subject, which is being connected by the connector or. They are singular, therefore I will also use singular verb. That is why we used is. We used is, this one. Remember? We used is. Is actually a singular verb. Next, rule 2. Same with rule 1. We are also using connector, either or neither nor. We are also going to require singular verbs. Take note, when two singular subjects connected by either or neither nor, then we are also going to use a singular verb. Example, neither Juan nor Carmen is available. Juan is singular subject. Another singular subject is Carmen. And then we are using the connector neither and nor. That is why we used the verb is, which is also a singular verb. Another example, either Kiana or Cassie. Kiana is singular subject followed by another singular subject, which is also Cassie. And then they are both connected by either or. That is why we used singular verb, which is. Okay, we use is. And then rule 3. Rule 3 is all about the connectors also, which is either or neither nor, but we are talking about another subject, which is specifically the subject I. When you see two subjects connected by either or neither nor, and that's one of those subject is actually I, then I will put the subject I second and follow it with the singular verb am. Okay? When I is one of the two subjects connected by either or neither nor, then I will put it second and follow it with the singular verb am. With the singular verb am. For example, neither she nor I am going to the festival. So it was actually being asked by Mark. Right? It was Mark. He asked me about this one. He is actually trying to replace she with I and I with she. So he is actually trying to see if it will be applicable. It will not be applicable based on rule 3. Based on rule 3. Because if I am going to interchange the place of I and she, for example, neither I nor she, then I will not going to use the verb am. I am not going to use the verb am. Because if you listen to it, neither I nor she am going to the festival. It is not correct. What is appropriate is neither she nor I am going to the festival, because am usually is after the subject I. Am is actually usually after the subject I. For example, when you are going to introduce yourself, my name is Alfonso. I am 10 years old, something like that. So you are actually going to use I am, not he am 10 years old. It's not good. It's not correct, right? You can actually listen to it, and then if you listen, if you think that the sound does not correspond with the with how you say the sentence is, then most of the time it is not correct. Okay. Okay, rule 4. When a singular subject is connected by or nor, another connector or nor, to a plural subject. So this is a combination of two subjects, a singular subject and a plural subject. I am going to use the plural subject and place it last, and then I am going to use a plural verb. For example, the serving bowl or the plates go on that shelf. The serving bowl is actually, or bowl is actually a singular subject, and then plates is actually a plural subject. They are being connected by the connector or. That is why I used go. Remember, go is the original verb. Then this must be the plural verb, right? This must be the plural verb. So make your plural subject second and then use plural verb. Use plural verb. Okay? Rule 5. Oh, by the way, do you understand rule 4? Rule 4 is very easy. Remember, one singular subject, one singular subject, one plural subject connected by connector or nor. Then I am going to make the second subject, the second subject, which is the plural subject, and then use a plural verb. So that is what rule 4 is all about. Rule 5. When another rule 5, it is as if rule 4, but the connectors used are either or neither nor. Either or neither nor. It is just the same with rule 4. Rule 4, we are only using the connector or nor. But for rule 5, we are using the connector either or and neither nor. They are all both talking about one singular subject and one plural verb, make the plural verb, singular subject and one plural verb, then make the plural subject second, or write the plural subject second, and then use a plural verb. Use a plural verb. For example, neither Jenny nor the others are available. Neither Jenny nor the others are available. So that is what is meant by Rule 5. Used by a connector either or and neither nor, one singular subject and one plural subject. Make the plural subjects, write the plural subject second, and then use a plural verb. Okay? Rule 6. As a general rule, use a plural verb with two or more subjects when they are connected by and. As a general rule, use a plural verb with two or more subjects when they are connected by the connector and. Okay? So subjects must subjects will either be singular or plural and more than one subject. More than one subject. We are talking about not just one subject but more than one subject. So for example, a car and a bike. So there are two subjects, car and bike, connected by the connector and. We are going to use a plural verb. We are going to use a plural verb. Okay? A car and a bike are my means of transportation. A car and a bike are my means of transportation. This is our plural verb. This is our plural verb. Understand? Do you understand the basic rule as well as the 6 rules that we have already discussed?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, very good. Thank you very much, Nicolas. Rule 7. Rule 7. Sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by words such as along with, as well as, besides, or not. So be able to remember and be familiar with these words, along with, as well as, besides, or not. You can actually read, and then you will be familiar with it. Along with, as well as, besides, or not. We are going to ignore this expression. When you say ignore, we will not give any emphasis to this one. We will not consider this one when determining whether to use singular or plural verb. For example, politician. Okay, politician. What is politician? Singular or plural? Politician, singular or plural? Politician. We do not add S on that one. So what must this be? Singular or plural? Politician. Is it singular subject or plural subject? Without S. Alfonso told us earlier regarding the singular subject. So what is it, Kenshi? What will this be? Politician. Is it singular subject or plural subject? Hinda. Singular subject or plural subject?
Singular subject.
Very good, Kenshi. This is singular subject. Okay, look at this. There is this word such as the along with the newsman. Along with the newsman. Okay? Newsman here is plural, right? But it is connected with the word along with. So we will not mind that one. We will not mind that one. We are not talking about the newsman. We are talking about the politician, not the newsman. That is why we use singular verb. We use singular verb is. we used singular verb is because we are actually talking about the politician and not the newsman. Okay, so be able to be familiar or be able to identify first the subject before that word, such as along with, as well as besides or not. Okay, if you were able to determine what is the subject, is it singular subject or plural subject, then that will be your basis, the verb that you are going to use. Okay, that would be the basis of the verb that you are going to use. So according to Kenshi, politician is singular subject. Therefore, I will base on the politician, which is the singular subject. So as a basic rule, if I have a singular subject, I will also use a singular verb. That is why I used is. I used is. So along with the newsman, I will simply ignore that one because we are not talking about that one. We are simply talking about the politician and not the newsman. Okay? Another example. Excitement. These are actually a noun, which is actually a noun regarding emotions. These are all nouns regarding emotions. Excitement as well as nervousness is the cause of her shaking. So we are talking about excitement, which is actually a singular subject. We do not add the nervousness here, okay, because we are not talking about nervousness. We are not talking about specifically about nervousness, but rather we are talking about excitement. That is why we also use singular verb, which is. Which is. Okay, understand? You understand?
Yes.
Yes, yo. Very good, Kenshi. Okay. Rule 8. So I told you last time, be able, if you wanted to capture the slides, you can do so. So remember, be familiar with the different, okay, with the different rules. So for rule 8, there are these pronouns: each, everyone, everyone, everybody, anyone, anybody, someone, and somebody. So these are pronouns. We are going to use singular verbs because all of the pronouns, all of those pronouns that I was able to tell you are all singular. They are all singular subjects. So we will not be misled by what follows off. The one that follows the off, for example, girls, it follows the word off. Cakes, it follows the word off. So we will not mind that one. We are also going to ignore that one because what we are going to talk or what we are actually talking about is actually the pronouns. The pronouns. And take note, those pronouns that I was able to tell you are all singular. Regardless of those subjects which was the plural subjects which follows of or the preposition of, we will not mind that one. We will simply ignore it. Okay, that is why each of the girls, okay, so we are talking each and every one of the girls, so only one of the girls, only in every girl we are talking about them. Okay, so we use singular verbs. Sings. Sing is the original verb, which is actually the plural verb. To make it become singular, we are going to add S. So each of the girls sings well. So do not be misled by the word girls, by the subject girls. So we are not talking about the subject girls here, but actually we are talking about the subject each here. Each. Another example, every one of the cakes is gone. Every one of the cakes is gone. So we are talking about every one, not about the cakes. not about the cakes. So we used singular verb is. Note, everyone is one word when it means everybody. Everyone is two words when the meaning is each one. So the difference between everyone and everyone. Everyone is a word wherein it means everybody. Wherein everyone, they are two words separated. They are separate words. The meaning is each one. The meaning is each one. Rule 9, another one. If I am not mistaken, it was also being asked by Mark. Mark has been confused about this one. So these are all words that indicate portions. These are all words that indicate portions. Percent, fraction, part, majority, sum, all, none, remainder, and so forth. So these are all words. Yes, Nicholas.
It's 8:16 p.m.
Yes, so we will end at 8:30. Is it okay? Is it okay? Are you going to sleep now? How about the others? Would you agree if we will end at 8:30? Do you agree with that? Or we will end now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Nicholas. So we will end at 8:30. Take note about that one. Okay? So these are all words that indicates portion. So if we talk about the words that indicates portion, then, okay, you are going to remember the word or the subject after the preposition of. After the preposition of, in order for us to determine the verb that we are going to use. In order for us to determine the verb that we are going to use, whether a singular verb or a plural verb. Okay, example. 50% of the pie has disappeared. Okay, percent. This is the word that indicates portion. Okay, of. This is the preposition of, which was indicated on Rule 9. And then, what will be our basis? We are going to base on the subject after the preposition of. So the subject after the preposition of is pie. Pie, what is pie? Is it singular or plural? Is it singular or plural? What is pie? Is it singular or plural? Pie. Without S. Singular subject or plural subject? What do you think? What is pie here? Singular subject or plural subject? Anyone?
Singular.
Huh? I think I can hear somebody. What is pie here? Singular subject or plural subject?
Singular subject.
What subjects? Singular or plural? Pie. Pie. Anyone? What is subject? Singular or what is pie? Singular subject or plural subject? Shitya. What is pie? Singular subject or plural subject?
Miss.
What is pie here? Is pie singular subject or plural subject? Pie without S. Huh? Singular subject or plural subject?
Plural subject.
Plural subject. Okay, thank you very much, Shita. Okay, I will ask another one. Rehana, what is pie here? Is pie singular subject or plural subject? Pie. Pie. P-I-E, without S. Pie. Anyone? Oh, how about Tristan? Tristan, what is pie? Is pie singular subject or plural subject? Pie.
Singular subject.
Very good. Singular subject. So we talk about, okay, We're talking about the singular subject pie, which is actually the object of the preposition of. It is after the preposition of. That is why we used has. Has actually is a singular verb. Okay? Verb to be, state of being, okay? We use this verb has. We are actually we are actually going to refer to the subject pie. That is why we found out that pie is a singular subject. Therefore, we are also going to use a singular verb. Okay. 50% of the pies. What is pies here? What is pies here? Singular subject or plural subject? 50% of the pies. What is pies here? Honey. Singular subject or plural subject? Pies. What is pies here? Singular subject or plural subject?
I think it's plural.
Very good. It's plural subject. That is why we use the verb have. Have is a verb which is a plural verb. Okay? So you must refer your verb on your subject. Okay? You must refer your verb on your subject. Okay, another one. 1/3 of the city is unemployed. 1/3 of the city is unemployed. City, is city singular or plural? City, is city singular or plural?
Singular.
Singular, very good. That is why we use singular verb is. Right? We use singular verb is. Okay. Take note. Yes. Another one. 1/3 of the people are unemployed. People. What is people? Singular, plural?
Plural. Plural.
Plural. What is the singular of people? What is the singular of what is the singular of people?
Singular.
Yeah, what is the singular of people? People is plural. Very good. People is plural. What is the singular of people? The singular form of people is person.
Person.
Yes, person. So people is actually plural. Okay, plural. That is why we use are. Plural verb also. We used are, which is also a plural verb. Okay, look at this. Preposition, and then this one, 1/3. Take note, 1/3 is a spelled out fraction. 1/3 is a spelled out fraction. When you are going to spell out a fraction, do not forget to use hyphen. Do not forget to use hyphen, or you are going to hyphenate all spelled out fractions. You are going to hyphenate all spelled out fractions. Okay, so many examples again here. All of the pie is gone. So we are talking about pie again. Pie is singular. That is why we use singular verb is. Take note, these are all after the preposition of. Pies. All of the pies are gone. Pies. Pies is actually plural subject. That is why we use are, which is actually a plural verb, are. Some of the pie is missing. Some of the pie is missing. Another pie. Pie is singular. Singular subject after preposition of. That is why we use is, which is a singular verb. Some of the pies are missing. Pies. Again, pies, plural subject. That is why for basic rule, we are also going to use plural verb, which is are. None of the garbage was picked up. Garbage. We did not add S on garbage. That is why we are going to say that it is singular subject. That therefore we are going to use singular verb was. None of the sentences were punctuated correctly. Sentences, sentence with S, it must be a plural subject. That is why we are going to use plural verb were. Plural verb were. Okay? And then of all her books, none have sold as well as the first one. Books. We are referring to books, which is another plural subject. That is why we will also use plural verb have. Question. Do you have some questions? No more questions? Anyone?
No.
Okay, I will ask. I will be the one to ask question. Nicholas. Where are we going to base our verb? Where are we going to base our verb if we encounter subjects after the preposition of? Where are we going to base our verb if we are talking about subjects after the preposition of? So we are going to base our verb from the subject after the preposition of. If the subject after the preposition of is singular, you are also going to use a singular verb. If the subject after the preposition of is plural, therefore you are also going to use a plural verb. Okay? You are also going to use a plural verb. So that is where you are going to base your verb. So identify the subjects. If the subject is singular, use singular verb. If the subject is plural, use plural verb. Still have questions? No more questions. Okay, since no more question, we are going to continue. Rule 10, another connector, either and neither. Either and neither. So either and neither, when either and neither are subjects, we always use singular verb. When the subjects are either and neither, therefore we are also going to use, or we are always going to use singular verb. So if you encounter a sentence wherein the subject is either neither or is either or neither, then we are going to use singular verb. Then, I was able to explain this one before. I am simply reviewing. I hope you can still remember. Okay? If you were confused, ask questions. I would rather let you ask me questions so that I will know if you are actually listening. If you are actually listening to our lesson, as well as if you are actually trying to learn from our lesson. Okay? You still have some questions, everyone?
No, miss.
No, miss, according to Nicholas. So when the subject is either or neither, we are always going to use singular verb. We are always going to use singular verb. Honey, do you have some questions, Honey?
No, miss.
So I hope you understand, okay? So when you see in a sentence that the subject used in a sentence is either or neither, automatically the verb is actually a singular verb. Another one, Rule 11, here and there. Here and there. So these are actually labeled as adverbs, even though they indicate place. Even though they indicate place. So in a sentence, there are these words which are here and there, with which it has been labeled as adverbs even though they replace, okay, the subject in sentences beginning with order, the subject follows the verb. So whatever the subject is, may it be the subject is singular, then use singular verb. When the subject is plural, use plural verb. Yes. Okay. It's already 8:30. Thank you very much, Nicholas, for telling me. Okay, so much for today. I hope you were able to be refreshed with our lesson. Okay.
Because